Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who's new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So sweeties, we are going to do the review today of the Snow Queen palette from Amorus USA. Now this is the first time that I have used that brand. I ordered this one and also the Nala palette together, and I was super excited because maybe if you're new here, you don't know, I would really like to just put some affordable makeup into the spotlight, because all of these expensive brands are just really featured all the time, because it's sort of like the how do you say that, the en vogue thing to do, or the in thing to do. And I just want to sort of counterbalance that a little bit, because I want to be able to afford my makeup. I want to get a lot for my money, and that is what I want to do, and that is what I want to show. Now this is, let me show you the palette. This is how she looks. Of course, in just a second you will also get some swatches, and this is how she looks. So we have 32 shades in here. We have a lot of mattes, we have a lot of shimmers, and we have 3 pressed glitters. I'm going to talk about those also at the review part, in the review part at the end of the video. Okay, so this is what we are working with. Of course, we have a whole neutral section, we have a more cool tone leaning section, with the exception of course of these two, and well, maybe the yellow or the mustard shade. So that is what it is, and I am actually super excited to talk to you about this, because I did have a lot of fun with this palette. So I'm going to show you now all the looks that I did. I did 3 looks with this palette using as many shades as possible, and I'm going to put them up in just a second. Now today, of course, I created my 4th look that will also come up in just a second right after the swatches. So without further ado, I think we should just go into the swatches, which I will film separately and then put them in as a clip, because it is a big palette and I don't want to live swatch it here on my channel, but I will swatch it and film it for you and then put up the clip, and right after we will go into the look, of course, which is this one. After that, I'm going to give you a in-depth review of this palette, and I hope you'll stay till the end. I hope you'll enjoy yourself, and without further ado, let's first of all go into the looks. Okay, sweeties, here we are with the finished look and I love it. I love it, but I'm going to, of course, tell you a little bit more once we get into actually talking about the palette. I just wanted to point out before we go into that my highlight, sweeties, I have just tried out this palette for the very first time. This is the Marilia Scott highlighter palette. Your highlight is too bright. Yeah. All right. So that is also one of the shades. The green one here I have in my inner corner. It's super, super pretty. And this one here, the peachy one, it's called Peaches and Popcorn. That's the one that I have here. I'm in love. Okay. Just wanted to point that out because it is really, really, really bright, I think. Okay, so I'm going to also feature that probably in a separate video. So because I want to try out everything, as always. Okay, so maybe we should zoom in a tiny little bit and scare you all like that. Okay, so this is how the look turned out, and let's talk. Okay, sweeties, of course we are talking about the Snow Queen palette from Amorus USA, and this is the first time that I tried this brand. I've told you already. Yeah, so that is a very big palette. For me, this is my comfort zone. Something around that range is absolutely my comfort zone when it comes to palette size. Okay, let's talk quickly about the packaging. We have, of course, cardboard packaging. It is super pretty. I mean, seriously, you know, there is nothing else that can be said that this is absolutely beautiful. Super, super nice. Snow Queen, really pretty. On the back you have all the ingredients and everything. It's very, very pretty. Of course you also have a mirror up here. And yeah, so now let's go into the shades. I want to first of all talk to you about the glitters. Okay, so we have 3 pressed glitters here. We have this one, this is Stellar, this is Magic Power, and this is Family. Now the cool thing about those glitters is, first of all, they work without a glitter glue. I'm going more and more towards working without glitter glues because, according to my recent experience, when I'm trying to, like in the last weeks, I've been trying to get more into working with glitters and like making a point of working with glitters, and every single time the shades or the glitters worked better without a glitter glue. So just saying that the binder is good, you know, you do not even need a glitter glue. I always put them on top of a mat though, because I wanted it to be opaque and not, you know, like bare skin shining through or anything, but I think most people would do that anyway. So the special thing about the glitters is that you have 3 different kinds here. Not only, of course, 3 different colors, but 3 different like formulas, glitter formulas. Here you have a very coarse one that has like big chunks in it. This is sort of a medium milled glitter. I don't know if that is how one says it, but I'm just gonna say it because I think you know, you understand. And this is super, super finely milled, so it almost looks like a shimmer when you apply it. Anyway, I personally think that the most stunning look was actually the one with this one, with the very coarse one, with the big chunks. I think if glitter, then already go for something like this, because I think it was spectacular. So let's talk about the other shades. I used almost everything. I did not use these 2 and this one. Besides that, I think I used everything. I'm pretty sure. So this is just because the color scheme is maybe not 100% what I'm feeling. I used the shades as much as I could, but it was not like my first choice. Obviously, I would dive more into this area here. The biggest surprise for me, or let's put it that way, the shade that I used the most was actually this mustard shade here, because I used that basically for most of my looks as a transition shade, and it is actually a very, very good shade. Also the black worked really, really nicely. In general, the mattes worked absolutely fine. If I think about what you're getting in this palette, the amount that you're getting in the palette and the variety that you're getting here and the price, in like, I can't even believe it, you know, because this was really, really good. They were blendable, they were buildable, they were maybe not on impact the most like impactful, but this is also not how I work. I usually work slowly building up because, according to my experience, that makes like work and blending work and all of that much, much easier. So I'd rather go in a couple of times and build them up slowly. So I never make a point of like trying to get a super big impact like on the first touch, you know. So that is that is just not my makeup style, how I do makeup. So that's why I say they are absolutely buildable. They're nicely blendable. I think you can see that, and you also saw it in the other looks that I did with the palette. So I was absolutely happy with that. Now let's talk about the shimmers. Let me just point them out, because this one and this one and this one is a shimmer. Then we have this one and this one. We have this one, this one, this one, this one, and is that one? No. So that is it. But we also have like a duochrome kind of a shade here, and that is, I don't know if I want to include that in the shimmers. It is sort of, yes, but it is kind of thin, but it's very, very, very nice. It's a very nice shade. Let me just swatch this live for you, and this is going to be the only one that I'm swatching live, as you have seen. But let me just maybe do it like this. Maybe I can. It is it feels more like a topper shade. I don't know if you can see this even, yeah, probably a little bit. So it is more like a topper shade, and it sort of has a thing going on between like a light blue or a blue and a white, right? So that is, of course, color scheme wise, absolutely Snow Queen. Absolutely, you know. So this is also called Snow Kingdom. I think it's really, really nice. Actually, in general, how they chose the names and everything is really, really nice. Now, I think the shimmers were not my super most favorite formula. They are not the most opaque shimmers that I've ever tried. Do I expect that though? No. I did not expect that, and they're absolutely buildable. You just have to go in a little bit more, you know? But I think, considering again what you're getting here, that is absolutely a sacrifice. This is not a sacrifice. I mean, it's makeup, right? But you know what I mean? This is actually really something that I'm absolutely willing to do if I'm getting something like this for that price. You know, and I don't want to put it down that it is good enough for the price. It is actually a very, very good palette, and it's just that the shimmers, according to my experience, could be maybe a little bit more opaque. I would like that, but not everybody feels that way. So that is just what it is, how I felt it. Again, they were buildable. They were super, super blendable. They did not fade. Also, the mattes didn't fade. But again, I've also said that in videos previously that I never have a problem with fading at all. I did not come across any staining with those shades. They just came off super, super easily at the end of the day. And I'm wearing my makeup long, long hours. If you're not new here, you know I'm applying my makeup at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I have my makeup on like on a normal day. If nothing else comes in between, I have my makeup on till like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. And usually in my normal life, my makeup looks just the way I applied it. Forget the foundation and stuff, but I'm talking about the eye area. So that is actually really, really nice. So coming back to this one here, I use that in most of my looks as my inner corner highlight, which is super beautiful. And also this one I used as an inner corner highlight once in a while. So really, really nice. I tried to layer it on top of other shadows. No, I didn't try to put it on top of mattes, but I did try to put it or to like blend it more into other shimmers, and that didn't work so well. But as a standalone shade, as a light shade, I think it worked really, really nicely. Okay, so overall, I think this is a super, super nice palette. You do have a beautiful range from light to dark. And if this is the color scheme you're looking for, you know, have some neutral options that are actually not leaning super warm, which is nice for me. The only two shades where I think they actually really do lean warm is this one, and this one. Well, of course, the glitter. But anyway, I think that is a super beautiful palette. I of course bought it for this part because that is really what I want to work with these days. But anyway, also this shade, which is like a super dark olive green, I would say, but it looks a little bit like mud. You know, how did they call it? Homeland. Yeah, like the mud in the homeland. Is a beautiful shade. I used that also in one of the looks that you saw before, and I think that was also a very, very big surprise. I used it together with this one, and again, I would have loved this glitter to show up a little bit more like glitter, because once it was applied, it looked more like a shimmer, which is fine too. But if I'm already sacrificing a pair of lashes, because I always have to throw out my lashes afterwards. My falsies, not my lashes, but my falsies. I want it to be really obvious that I'm wearing glitter, you know what I mean? So anyway, I think this was a very, very good experience. I'm super excited also to move on to the next thing now, but that is always the case. This is because I'm working for a couple of days in a row with the same palette to really dig in and to just really get an opinion about as many as possible of the shades, and then I always reach a point that I'm looking forward to the next one. So that doesn't mean that this one wasn't nice. It's sort of like, you know, when you're approaching giving birth when you're pregnant, and at the end of the pregnancy, as much as you enjoyed the pregnancy, you are ready to give birth and to get that baby out. That is how I feel. Always. So anyway, yeah, so I really did enjoy the palette. I have also the Nala palette from Amorus USA waiting for me to work with. That is gonna come in some time because I'm not working with a brand like 2 palettes in a row. I want to have some variety also for myself and also for you when the looks come up on Instagram or in general on my social media. It's just going to be boring if it's always the same brand. So I want to mix it up a little bit, but the Nala palette of course will also come up at some point. Okay, so yeah, that is it. The color scheme, of course, as I told you, it was cool tones and it was some warmer tones or neutral tones, and I think that is really nice for most people. You know, for most people that is just perfect to have a combination of things, and as I said, everything worked really well. So I hope this review was helpful for you if you were thinking of checking out this brand. I could absolutely recommend it. It is also very beginner friendly. There is nothing complicated about working with this formula or the color scheme. You know, it is very nice if you are trying to get into some colors or whatever. Of course, if you have never done it before, maybe blues and very dark colors that you have in here, because most colors here lean pretty dark. Maybe that is not the first thing you should try, but also you can do pastel looks with this palette. You know, let's face it, like you can do completely pastel-y looks with these shades and then have this one on the lid or whatever, you know. So it has a super big variety that you maybe don't even see at first glance. So yeah, I think this is also for different skin tones, you know, because it leans very dark in some places. That could also be very good if you have a darker complexion. So that is really what it is. I don't feel that there were any dots or anything in this. My favorite shades color wise, I have to say this one. This is probably why I bought the palette, this green one, and I was a little bit sad that it wasn't more opaque, that it was not more boom, you know, because I like my shimmers to be like boom. But again, I used it also today, as you saw, and it worked good. It worked good, you know. So yeah, that is what it is. So anyway, I hope you did enjoy. If you did so, then please give the video a like, and if you're new here, then please subscribe to my channel. Check out my other content because I have a big variety of stuff that I'm doing here on my channel. And besides that, you of course will find everything that I've used in the description box down below, as well as my social media, discount codes, all of that stuff. And I'll see you here next time for my next video, which is going to be super soon. I can't wait to have you back here again. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.